The times we live in are hard. This is only going to get worse. So much worse. Economic experts have been giving out ways to cope in these terrible times. While people are terrified of a recession, there are ways you can protect yourself and even get rich from it too. This video will show you some assets you can invest in that will make you smile when the recession ends. Robert Kiyosaki, the man who wrote the book entitled Rich Dad, Poor Dad, rightly predicted the fall of the Lehman Brothers in 2008, and that came true.
Really that worried about Goldman Sachs and Lehman Brothers?
Yes. I'm afraid the Federal Reserve will eventually or come close to bailing them out. That's what I'm concerned about.
The investment bank filed for bankruptcy this morning, a shocking ending to a weekend of frantic negotiations which failed to save the company.
We know to take him seriously because he has made other predictions concerning Wall Street and the world economy, which have also come true. It is wise to consider whatever prediction this man makes about our time seriously. His most recent prediction was about major U.S. banks failing. That happened plain as day for all to see. Well, Robert has spoken again, and the predictions are not any better. He asserts that the world is currently in a global downturn. Robert warned that inflation could result in a worse crisis than in July last year, pointing out that real estate is collapsing and layoffs are beginning. In April, he also warned about depression and hyperinflation while forecasting the impending collapse of the US dollar. He said that the world is heading into a global downturn, and for him, that's way worse than the world being in a global depression. He tweeted, "What is the worst kind of depression? A global economic downturn. Sadly, we are experiencing a global downturn. Hold on, the world's landing was difficult. Goodbye to retirement. A piece of good news. Everything is on sale. Silver, gold, and BC priceless." He said, "We're only making a stop at being in a global depression. A global downturn is the destination point." Do you know something funny about this? Robert is excited about the entire situation. He said he gets sexually stimulated while thinking of where the world is headed. It's headed for hell, by the way.
You know, here I'm talking about the coming depression. Everybody says, "Oh, you're such a pessimist," you know. I go, "No, I'm excited." You know, I get sexually stimulated thinking about all the bargains that are going to be on the street. You know what I mean? It's going to be bargains everywhere. But everybody else, "Oh, you're pessimistic." No, I'm actually optimistic.
How crazy is that? Only a psychopath would be happy about millions of children not having food to eat because their parents can't find work. Well, Robert is neither crazy nor is he a psychopath. While bearing his bad news, he also had some good news to share, how you can survive the coming recession. Watch this video to the end to learn about the cheap assets you can get today to make you survive the recession and come out of it richer. If you lived through a recession, you'd know how dark a time it is. Some people had a less awful experience, while others had even worse. If you haven't experienced the horrors of a recession, you might know someone who did. The bottom line is that a recession is an enemy to humans who want to live where they can afford what they need to live like humans. That's not too much to ask. The government even promises to care for the basic needs of its citizens. Still, it looks like the government is at war with the citizens since they are constantly making it more difficult for them to live decently and with some dignity.
But the more harder you work, the more money you make, the higher taxes you pay. If that's not communism, what is? And I think it's an American duty not to pay our taxes. Because if you read the Communist Manifesto, you'd understand.
Robert has always maintained that no one should rely on the government to care for them. Most people who rely on the government end up getting disappointed. This is a common tune all over the world. It's not peculiar to one nation. They don't care about you. The government does not care about you or me. Not really. Robert had experienced firsthand how the government couldn't care less if a family was going through hell. This made him decide he wouldn't do things as his father did. And you too have to decide that you will be in charge of your life, not waiting on the government to save you or deliver on their promises. How many households are unable to get their pension? How many veterans are homeless today? That's enough to make you disillusioned about the government. Just recently, Robert attacked the Federal Reserve for raising interest rates. He's always attacking them because they're consistently churning out policies that make the world even harder to live in. He warned that this act of raising interest rates would cause stocks, bonds, real estate, and the US dollar to crash, ultimately leading to a $1 quadrillion crash in the derivatives market. In case you're wondering, $1 quadrillion is $1,000 trillion. That's too painful to imagine.
Economy surpassed $100 trillion for the first time in 2022, but is likely to stall in 2023 as policymakers continue their fight against high borrowing costs.
Robert frequently expresses his mistrust of Wall Street, the Treasury, the Federal Reserve, and the Biden administration. He emphasizes that the Fed and the Treasury are destroying the US dollar. One reason Robert is vocal about the government's mistakes in general is because whatever decision they make affects the whole world, not just the US. 100 years ago, the downfall of the US economy wouldn't mean a lot to other countries. But now, there's too much interconnectedness, and the crash of the dollar translates to a crash of the world's economy. Okay, Robert, we understand that the world is cruel and dark. What are we to do to help ourselves? Despite Robert's warnings of rising bankruptcies, unemployment, and homelessness, he remarked that there is good news for investors searching for bargains. Let's revisit that first tweet and take a closer look. What is the worst kind of depression? A global economic downturn. Sadly, we are experiencing a global downturn. Hold on. The world's landing was difficult. Goodbye to retirement. A piece of good news. Everything is on sale. Silver, gold, and BC priceless. His recommendation for this period is quite straightforward. According to his tweet, gold, silver, and Bitcoin are assets that will make a huge difference in your life now. He has been screaming at people to buy gold and silver for as low as $30.
Can buy today even a silver eagle or a silver buffalo or silver bar, and I'm paying about $20 to $25. Now everybody in the world can afford $20 to $25, but very few people know about it. And so that's why I think this is a very important Rich Dad radio show, because it's about the number one investment everybody in the world can afford as the whole world economy collapses on top.
And instead of anyone investing in fake money, they should invest in Bitcoin. As he said, gold and silver are priceless in these times. Robert refers to gold and silver as God's money, and he calls Bitcoin the people's money. It's clear why. Robert has got no value whatsoever in the dollar. It's all fake money to him. If you're enjoying this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with others. Also, what tips would you like to share if you've lived through a recession? We'd love to know in the comment section. Now, let's look at fake money and investing in fake money. The dollar is just paper. Robert says it's crazy how people want to save something that depreciates over time. Inflation has never been kind to money. My friend, you must stop doing the same things if you want to see a change. You'll end up with the same results. Robert predicted in December that Bitcoin investors would become richer when the Federal Reserve changes course and prints trillions of dollars. He clarified that he is an investor in Bitcoin rather than a trader, and that he enjoys it when the price of BTC falls. Robert sure sounds like a villain. In September, he urged investors to invest in cryptocurrencies immediately to avoid the world's worst economic collapse. Personally, most of his savings are in gold and also in silver. No way will he lose money by letting it lie in the bank. That's what happens when you save money. You lose some of it because inflation eats away at it. Robert buys real money with fake money. I like how his mind works. It's hard not to like such a guy. When there's a crisis happening, Robert is usually unbothered because so far there hasn't been a government policy that has affected the value of gold and silver. He makes more money when things crash, and he is genuinely concerned about why the school doesn't teach about money. Why are the prices of gold, silver, and Bitcoin rising? A, because bad debt is making the U.S. middle class and poor even poorer. Do not become impoverished, please. Purchase at least one silver coin. Only $30 and you'll start getting rich, he tweeted. The Bitcoin BTC USD price has increased by almost 39% since the beginning of the year. Over the period, spot gold has also risen by more than 5%. The SPDR Gold Trust GLD has gained 4.88%, while the ABRDN Physical Silver Shares ETF, SIVR, has decreased by 0.96%. Robert is encouraging investors to buy at least a silver coin, but he said he knows many people still won't buy into the idea of buying these lifesavers. That's because they trust what they're already used to. They think the dollar is too strong to crash. Well, time will tell. These people can't see what's happening to the dollar as more money gets printed. Devaluation of the dollar is part of the consequences of that action. They continue hoping that the dollar will bounce back. Again, time will tell. The well-known author has previously stated that he anticipates gold, silver, and Bitcoin owners to get richer when the Federal Reserve changes course and creates trillions of fake dollars. He projected that gold would soar to $3,800 and silver would rise to $75 this year, noting that the stock market fall will drive up the prices of both precious metals. He bluntly said that when people cry as the Fed Reserve drops interest rates, those who purchase silver and gold will smile. These are smart people and proactive people. You can be one of them. Robert said, "Your future is created by what you do today, not tomorrow." That's the truth.
Says buying opportunity. If Fed continues raising interest rates, US dollar will get stronger, causing gold, silver, and Bitcoin prices to go lower. Buy more. When Fed pivots and drops interest rates, as England just did, you will smile while others cry. Take care.
Letting something get you after you've been warned about it is simply foolishness. He appeals to his followers online, letting them know that he makes no money when they buy silver coins. He doesn't get a commission. He only wants the masses to get out of the pit they're in. His empathy makes him criticize government policies, and one time he tweeted how bad he feels for restaurant workers because he can't comprehend how they manage to survive. The cost of living has gone insanely high. Now, you have arsenals at your disposal to begin shaping your future the way you want. Don't let it slip through your hands. Get some coins today. And this brings us to the end of this video. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to this channel to learn more ways to become financially independent. We'll always give you tips to become financially free.